Oh, hi everyone. Welcome back to New Kevin's Kreations here on Geektopia Island. I'm your host, Kevin.
And I'm Cardwell.
And today we're actually going to be showing off one of the decks from the last Deck Brawl. And it was the Light's Wrath deck. It was actually a fan deck that got sent to us to be played on the Deck Brawl and to see what it would do against one of our other decks that we made. It's actually a really fun deck and it does a lot of cool things with it. It's got its place, it does it really well. It's a white weenie with a whole bunch of control-y cards. So it's like a tempo white weenie deck, if that makes any kind of sense. But there is some things I would change, but a lot of people wanted to see it or ask me about it, so we're gonna go ahead and just show it and show everybody what it is. So without further ado, let's delve into it.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Alright, so we start off with Brunhild, and she's a beast in and of herself.
Oh yeah.
So Divinity 10, 2 white and 2 is the Judgement, and she energizes for a white. So pretty simple, pretty standard for the new Valhalla rulers. And then she turns into a 12/12 flyer with still Divinity 10, and she comes into play. You put a Resonator from your graveyard into the battlefield.
So just good value there.
Yeah, you just get all the value you need. And if you watched our brawls, you got to see that turn that we Judgemented was pretty pivotal for both of us. And it changes a lot of how this deck plays, but it just brings you back. So her Rune Deck is the Rune Deck that's in this one is a little different than normal. And it's just there for the more control package, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah.
So we start off with Ring of Legend, which is
it's just really good. Yeah.
1 white quick cast, Divinity 3 Rune, target J/Resonator gains Eternal. I mean, it's a Flourishing Hope whenever.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah. And then the next up, we got Whispers of an Angel, which actually is very crucial in this deck because it gains you life, which is a big part of the cycle in this deck.
Even just turn 1. Just gain life, draw a card.
Oh, yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah, so it's a white and 2 for Divinity 2 with quick cast. You may pay 2 less to play this from a rune area, so essentially 1 white. And you gain 8 and draw a card, like he was saying. It's fantastic. If you're playing white, it's definitely one of the runes you should look into playing just because it's so much value for 1 mana.
Yeah.
Next up is Karmic Reversal. This card is insane every time I play it.
It's super good.
It gets a little better every time. But it's 1 white and 1 for quick cast, Divinity 3 Rune. And if damage will be dealt to target J/Resonator you control, is dealt to your opponent instead. So that is essentially a bubble for that whole turn. Because it just says damage to you control. So it doesn't matter if it's the next damage or 3 dudes later. All damage that turn is just prevented and redirected. And if you watched our brawl, you got to see me totally wreck Cardwell with this card.
Oh yeah. It was very sad.
But that's really its own purpose, is just to be like, hey, kill that dude and prevent mine.
And take a lot of damage to the face.
Yeah, pretty much. Next up is Mini Meteor. It is 2 white and 1, and as a Divinity 3 Rune, you rest all J Resonators your opponent's control. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to Resonators your opponent controls until the end of turn. So essentially, it's your way to win the game.
Yeah.
So you pay 3, you tap all their dudes down, and you swing for game.
Just swing. Done.
Personally, I think it's the weakest rune in this rune deck because I don't like it that much, but that's me personally. I would rather have a card that I can guarantee kill their dude or something like that, but that's how I play. And then the final card is Odin's Judgement, and it's her master rune, and it's just too good to not use, really.
Yeah, it really is.
2 white and 1 for Divinity 2 Master. Play this card only with Brunhild. Destroy all Resonators. There's no way around that.
Yeah. If you need a board wipe, there it is. All just there for you
Yeah.
to use anytime.
Yeah, 3 mana. I'm gonna make sure the board resets how I want it to reset, and it's so good. And you don't care because you can get your dudes back with Brunhild. So if you're not playing against the Brunhild, they can't really get it back easily.
Yeah.
So you're like, cool, that dude I needed, he's back. Great. But that's it as far as the rune deck. So you're gonna have way more than 10. So you have to pick and choose which 4 you can have, because you can only have 4 in, really.
Yeah.
Or
sometimes
potentially
even
even 3.
Yeah.
Just because it just depends on how you want to run it. But for the most part, you're going to have either 4 or 3. It's just where it is.
Alright, with that, we'll go ahead and get into the creatures here. The next one is Aratron. 1 white, 2/2, Angel of Knowledge, flying, enters the battlefield. You look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You reveal an Angel Resonator from among them and put them in the hands, and put the rest at the bottom. Sadly, seeing as there's only 2 angels here, I don't know. It's okay, but probably not in this deck at the moment.
Yeah, we liked it.
Yeah.
It does really well for what it does, because its whole purpose is to go get the next angel we'll talk about. That's its main purpose in the deck. But from what I did and what I played with it, losing that much value of the other cards, because they all go to the bottom, it seems like it's a little too intensive for what it does.
Yeah, just for one thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that in Force of Will, there's not many, like, shuffle effects.
Yeah. And I mean, Sandstorm just kills it. So if you're playing against Sandstorm, you just lose a dude for no mana. And it's just not really... to me, it didn't feel like it was worth it enough because I didn't have enough angels.
Yeah. But speaking of the angel that it does get is very, very strong.
Yeah.
You all know this from our videos if you watched, is Angel of Hope. It's 1 white, 2/3, flying drain. Whenever you gain life, it draws a card. Or, no, sorry. Whenever you gain life, you put a 1/1 counter on it.
I was like, Jesus, when did they get that good?
I don't know what kind of card that is, but that sounds good. But yeah, and if it has a 1/1 counter on it, when you Judgment, you get to inverse the card. And when this card inverse, destroys target Resonator if there's a 1/1 counter on it.
Yeah.
And it's a 4/5 flyer.
So for 1 mana, you have the potential to kill a dude, which is pretty good in and of itself. I mean, yeah, it has a stipulation on when that happens, but you get to choose that stipulation, really. But even then, it's just, if you don't answer an Angel of Hope early, that card can get away from you real quick. As per you saw our games, where both of us were like, Angel of Hope,
Yeah.
do some silly stuff.
With Brunhild, you can only flip once, a Judgment once, but even there's so much life gain that you just keep putting on counters on the thing.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't get to Judgment and do anything, or inverse, you just still get to be like, it's big. I'm going to hit you really hard.
And it just increases its size by itself too. So.
But yeah, it is an angel, and it's the main card that Aratron looks for. But I feel like out of those, having only 4 things to get seems kind of lackluster for me on the 1-drops. Yeah. But that's where it is.
Alright, the next one is Grimmia's Fairy. 2 white, 5/5, flying drain. I didn't realize how annoying this is until I played against it.
Yeah, this card is actually a lot better. Like, I'm glad he showed me this card, because I kind of forgot it existed, in all honesty. Yeah. But it's really, really strong right now in this format, just because 5 is a lot bigger than you think it is. And it can deal with a lot, and it does a lot for you.
Especially on turn 2 or turn 1 with the Energized. It's just like 5/5 flyer. It's ridiculous.
Because for the most part, 1-drops are going to be like 4 toughness or 4 attack. So you're like, well, great. Don't. Yeah. Stop. Just don't do anything. And you get to gain life, and it triggers your Angel of Hope. Awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Next up is Valkyrie of Mercy. It's, again, one of our favorites for white, because it's just really strong for what it does.
Oh, yeah.
3 mana for a 6/7. It does not have flying.
Nope.
We all want it to.
It looks like it does.
Yeah. But it is 6/7. It comes into play and it returns a 2-drop from your graveyard to the play. So a 2-drop Resonator from the graveyard to field. I can't tell you how good that is.
It's just really good.
You get so much value because you just get to get back a Grimmia or an Angel of Hope. Or if you are playing the Orphica package, you can bring back an Orphica, blink out your air, and then get another dude.
Yeah.
It's just super strong and super good for what it does. It's so much value for 3 mana.
Yeah.
The next card that's really a lot of value in this deck, and we both were kind of impressed by this card, is Dark Alice Doll.
She's super annoying.
So it's a 4/10 for 3 with flying and drain. Already good.
That's a big old butt.
Yeah. And then when you gain life, this card deals 200 damage to target opponent or J Resonator. This ability triggers only once per turn. So essentially she gets to deal 6 damage the turn she deals damage, because you hit for 4 and you gain 2, or you gain the 4, and when you gain that life, you shoot for 2 again, and you gain another 2 because it still has drain when you shoot the 2 damage.
Because it says she does the damage. Yeah. So therefore, that's 2 triggers on Angel of Hope.
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
Yeah.
And it's once per turn, so if it's on their turn and you block with her, you can be like, hey, she gains life, shoot that thing, or shoot you for 2.
Yeah. Essentially a 6/10 for 3 mana with flying and drain. That's just good stats.
Yeah, her having a big booty of 10 just makes her able to block almost everything.
It's
and not
super
care.
rough to fight, yeah.
Yeah, but she's one of the main reasons I won game 1 is just because she gets out of hand, especially with an Angel of Hope, and it's just silly.
Yeah.
She's really, really good. The next creature, and the final actual creature of the main deck, is Misteltein, the Pious Sword Saint. She is your big heavy hitter, the in the game card. She has 5 mana for a 12/12. She comes into play. You can pay 1 white and 1 less for the next rune this turn. And whenever you play a rune from a rune area, you put target Resonator total cost 3 or less from your graveyard into the field. And lastly, when this card blocks or is blocked by a Resonator, destroy that Resonator. So she is a powerhouse in and of herself. If they don't have that stupid Castle Minerva card, you get to destroy all their dudes.
Yep.
Sadly, he had it when I got her, so she didn't get to do very much. But otherwise, she does work.
She's the destroyer of worlds, pretty much. Like,
yeah.
You just swing with no mercy every time.
You're like, swing 12. Oh, you're going to block? That dude's gone.
And now damage still goes through.
Yeah.
So.
And if you play any kind of rune after you played her, you're just like, cool. She gets indestructible. I get a dude back for free. Great.
It's ridiculous.
She's silly because she just is so big and has the ability to not let you block.
Yeah.
And that's so strong.
It really is.
But that's it as far as the creature goes. But there is a lot of spells that help augment and give you the overdub.
This is where the tempo part comes in. To have powerful creatures, but then just spells the tempo out. The first one is Resuscitating Will. 1 white, quick cast, recover target J Resonator. Just to swing again, pretty much.
Yep, you just make that whatever you need swing in, swing again. So if you have a Misteltein, you're just like, hey, swing 12, untap it, swing 12. Great. Kill 2 dudes or you take 24. I don't care either way, I'm winning.
Yeah. The next one is MVP of all white cards, is Flourishing Hope. We talk about this card every time. If you watch our Brawl, it's literally why we both won our games.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so good. So 1 white, quick cast, target J Resonator. This basically gains Eternal until end of turn, and then remove it from game, inverted. The invert part is Burgeoning Despair. 1 black, 2 colorless. Play this card only from remove area. Target player banishes 2 Resonators.
That part's so good.
That part is insane.
It's so strong in a deck like this just because you're not doing a lot after like a couple turns. So the ability to have that, just to be like clear the way, is really, really strong.
Yeah, because early game you're going to protect your dudes. Late game you're going to obviously Judgement Brunhild, and you're going to have the stones to do it.
Yeah, and being able to late game just be like, you lose 2 dudes and you don't get a choice is so strong. Because, yes, they get a choice in which ones they lose, but they still have to lose 2 dudes.
Yeah.
And it's in your favor at that moment.
Especially after you flip, so you already have double power on the field pretty much. With Brunhild and whatever you brought back. Yeah. And then, you clear the way. The next one, Protection of the Angels. 1 white, quick cast. Play this card only during your opponent's turn. Target Resonator gets +8/+8 and Barrier until end of turn. This card cannot be chased.
So this card impressed me a lot more than I gave it credit for.
Yep.
Like, I was not a huge proponent of this card, but it did a lot more than I thought it would. And I really, really appreciated it because on a drain creature, this card is insane.
Yes.
Like, on Dark Alice Doll, it is insane. Because you're just like, hey, I'm going to gain some life. A lot of life. And you can't touch it.
I have 12/18. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm big and you can't stop me because, like you said, you gain 12 and you shoot for another 2 on their turn. Yeah. Which is insane. So that's a 14 life swing just there. And
it gains Barrier. So if they try to kill your dude on their turn, if they have sorcerer or like a non-quick cast cards.
Yeah, they can't.
You can't.
And you can't even quick cast this because you can't chase to it. So you're just like, no, don't target this dude.
Yeah.
Stay away.
Can't counter it, can't nothing.
Card is a lot better, so if you need the protection spells, definitely look into this one as one of them because it's actually really, really good.
Oh yeah. The next one is Separation of Fates. 1 white, quick cast. Target J Resonator loses all abilities until end of turn. Draw a card.
So this one's pretty good.
Yeah.
I forgot to draw cards, but I don't know if it really would have helped me a lot on game 2, but it is what it is. But it's there just to wipe the slate clean of something, whether you need it to be like a Lorat's Disciple or an Angel of Hope or anything. Yeah. You're just like, no, don't do that. Or the Misteltein, you're just like, no, yours doesn't get to kill my dude.
Doesn't get to do that, yeah.
So it's there to wipe the slate clean. Like an Imel wipes away her abilities, all that silly stuff.
Yeah, it does say J Resonator, so if there's imperishable on a Resonator, then or J.
Yeah, it's just there for that reason, really. It's good, and it is a cantrip, so it draws your card. Yeah. It's pretty worth it. Next up is Naughty Child's Chastising. 1 white and 1 quick cast, and destroy target attacking Resonator. You gain life equal to its attack. So this does multiple purposes, kills the dude, and gives your Angel of Hope another counter if you gain life. And it's just super strong. Because it's just kill your dude. It's not the best kill spell in the deck, because that's reserved for the next card.
Oh yeah. Which one is that?
So Blade of Faith is the new Valhalla card, and it is insane for Brunhild.
Yes.
It is our new chant / master rune, so you can have 4 of them in the main deck, because it is a chant. And it is Divinity 2, 4 mana. If you play it as a master, it's Divinity 2. But otherwise, you pay 3 less to play this card, as long as Brunhild is your ruler. And you destroy, or you remove target Resonator from the game.
Yep.
1 white.
Remove. That's the key word right there for 1 white.
So technically it's 4 mana, but with Brunhild it only costs 1. So you're like, hey, pay 1 white, get that dude out of my game.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, it's gone.
Yeah.
You don't have barrier, get out of my game. Card is insane. Just does so much for you. You're like, that dude's a problem? No, he's not.
Yeah.
Gone.
You played a raid, get out of here. John Dark, get out of here. I don't care.
Yeah, this card definitely will get rid of John Darks in a heartbeat, and it's really nice. Just, I've been there, dealt with it, and you're just like, get out.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what it is.
It doesn't have quick cast, but whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, it means it's protected from Failure spells, so it's even easier for you.
Yeah.
And the final card of the main deck is Magic Crest of Light, and it's just there to give your dudes counters. It distributes up to 4 counters on up to 4 different targets of Resonators, so you're just like, hey, this dude gets 2, this dude gets 2, or 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. It's really just there to give counters out, so you make your dudes bigger. Because you're already playing little dudes, and if they get bigger, like I saw, if you saw our brawls, one of our games, my Grimmia fairies got to be 9/9s, when I was just like, this is silly.
So there are 2 of them 7/7s, and you're just like, okay, that hurts.
Yeah. It just does a lot for you in the late game. It's like kind of your like bomb, I guess you want to call it. The stones are really simple. We got 2 light magic stones. We have 4 magic stone of faith, which is the produce a white. If you spin this wheel to play a human or a Valkyrie, it can't be canceled.
Yep.
So it helps a little bit in the deck, not a crazy amount, but it's there for you. And it's better than a light magic stone because it gives you the ability to not be countered.
Exactly.
And then the final stone is the magic stone of hope, which when you do a judgment of a ruler, invert this, and it turns into a white-black stone, which is magic stone of despair. And it's really just there for purging despair. That's its only purpose.
But it's worth it.
But to have the black mana. And the front side is just white, so it, like he says, it's totally worth it because late game you have the Burgeoning Despair just sitting there, and right now there's no way to stop that or get rid of them. So you're just like, cool, Judgment, lose 2 dudes, lose 2 dudes. And sometimes you get lucky and get 3 of them, and Cardinal's not a fan of you, but hey, it's okay. It is what it is.
It hurts.
But that is the deck, guys. We don't have a sideboard anything for it yet or anything like that, but the deck is super fun. I gave it a good try. We could not do a game 3 because we both were just like, oh my god, after game 2.
Yeah. Life King versus Life King does not feel good.
Yeah, it does not mix well. But this deck is actually a whole lot of fun. So thank you again for sending us this deck list and letting us play it against ours. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see y'all again next time. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Also, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to keep up to date on all of our future content, make sure you tap that bell.
And go ahead and check us out on our streams. Don't forget to support us on Patreon. And thank you for staying here on the island.
Later, guys.
Bye.